All right, folks, here we go. Let's do this. All right, so the reveal. I'm going to give it to you right up front. Then we're going to go back and all the stuff y'all already know is going to come into play. It's mind destroying. This is absolutely mind destroying stuff. All glory to God. I give all the glory to God, all of it. I'm amazed that He would let me see all this. So let's talk about real quickly what is the number one animal that we're referred to in the Bible as? It's really simple. Sheep. Okay, when the Lord comes, okay, well, when He comes, He says, when the Son of Man shall come in His glory and all the holy angels with Him, then He shall sit upon the throne of His glory. You know what? I'm going to stretch this out. There you go. And before Him shall be gathered all nations, and He shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. So, when Jesus comes to judge everything, He's going to separate the sheep from the goats. Now, I'll tell you what, guys, I remember when I got started, when the Lord called me, and the very first image of the Virgin that I drew and I turned upside down, I was just like, what in the world? I freaked out. I called my wife's father. He was a world religion professor. He used to be an attorney, couldn't handle it anymore because of all the lying. So he became a world religion professor. And I called him up and I said, hey, Tom, is there anything in the Bible that talks about sheep and goats? And I'll never forget. He goes, yeah, man, Ezekiel 34:17, I believe, is the first one he told me. And then I ended up in Matthew 25. And I was like, and the reason I asked him that is because the very first thing the Lord showed me was sheep and goats. And I didn't understand why. Let me show you very quickly. Let's go to this. We're going to go to the sheep folder right here. Let me see if I can get that to shrink down. So y'all remember this image of the Virgin I've shown you guys. I'm going to show it to you in a lot higher resolution. Wow, the scroll button's not working. How weird. Let me see what's going on there. There we go. So right here, this image I've shown you guys many times. But let me show you something else y'all have never seen. And then I'm just going to give you the information drop right now. Okay, and then we're going to go back and reverse engineer it. So here's an image of a dead sheep. You know what? Let me get that little header off that says full screen. So here's the image of a sheep with its tongue sticking out, and there's the eye of the sheep. There's the eye. This goes up the forehead right here. If you look real closely, you can see a crucifixion right here's the head, there's the arm, there's the shoulder, there's the arm going out. Here's the chest, there's the stomach, there's the waist, there's the tunic, there's the legs bent, and there's Christ crucified right on the head of the sheep. I was like, and there's so many things that are hidden in here. There's the devil and there's all kinds of stuff, and I'm going to show that to you. But let's just look at the sheep for right now. I don't want to get sidetracked. Here's the eye of the sheep. There's the eye of the sheep. Coming down the center line of the face right here, nostril, nostril. There's a cleft in the lip, and there's the line in the lip, and there's the tongue sticking out. Now that is absolutely a sheep with its tongue sticking out right here. And when you turn it right side up, it's the virgin. Well, let me show you the very first thing the Lord showed me on the very first image of the Virgin that I turned upside down. I'm like, the whole damn thing is a dead sheep. But I drew in all those lines because that's the way the Lord showed me how to exercise my gift. And so let me show you what this thing turns into. And then let me drop the bomb, super bomb on everybody. Then we'll go back and reverse engineer it. Okay, so let's go down to the bottom. Okay, so here's that same image of the Virgin right here. And this is out of this little book I'd put together. And so when I drew the lines, I was like, well, wait a minute. Why is it a goat this way? And I was like, why is it a goat here with the eye and the nose and the teeth of the goat? And I was like, why is there a goat right here and it's got horns? And why is it a sheep when you turn it upside down? I could not, way back then, in 2003, I was like, what the hell, man? Why is there a goat one direction, and when you turn the goat upside down, the whole goat's a dead sheep? So I got on the phone and I called my wife's father, and he was a world religion professor, and I said, hey, Tom, is there anything in the Bible that talks about sheep and goats? And I still remember the way he sounded on the phone. He's like, oh yeah, man, go to Ezekiel 34:17. I'm just gonna I'm gonna test my memory. Look, I haven't looked up Ezekiel 34:17 in probably years and years and years, but I just want to look just from my own memory. So just bear with me. Let's go to Ezekiel 34:17. I'm pretty sure that's the scripture he told me. And then I went there, and then I ended up in Matthew. I ended up in Matthew 25. But so let's try Ezekiel 34 17. Yeah, there it is. As for you, my flock, thus saith the Lord, behold, I judge between cattle and cattle, between the rams and the goats. And I actually read probably the NIV, and it was sheep and goats, but there it is, between the rams and the goats. And I was like, weird. And so then I ended up in Matthew 25, and Matthew 25 says, when the Son of Man comes, and with all the holy angels with him, he shall sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered not some, but all nations. And he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth, that's a very important word, his sheep from the goats. Okay, there it is. So now just imagine you're me right now, 2018, and the Lord has delivered all these images of sheep to you guys. I mean, Alex at Starbucks, the images of the Virgin over and over, the Rolling Stones, has anyone seen my baby standing on top of a dead sheep? All these images of sheep. The Vatican, the largest altar in the world, dead sheep. Dead sheep, dead sheep, dead sheep, lots of dead sheep. Get ready to freak out. Here you go. Let's just get to it. So, I'm going to just give it to you right now, and then we'll go back and back engineer all this, okay? So let me show you the Church of Satan. Okay, so the Church of Satan, see it says Church of Satan, and it is an upside down pentagram. They turn a pentagram. I turned this one right side up because I need to use it. I need to use that image. So I flipped it. So I'm going to use it to show you something mind-boggling in just a moment. So anyway, the Church of Satan is an upside down five-pointed star pentagram, and that represents the Church of Satan. That's why if you just go look up Church of Satan star, this is what's going to come up right there. That's what's going to come up. So anyway, so there it is. And then what I've done is I've taken one of those and I turned it right side up. Okay, well, let me show you a big key, because I told you guys the night I got saved, the very first thing the Lord did for me was he told me, Jonathan, read the tags and the clothes you're carrying. And then he told me I read 100% nylon, which made no sense whatsoever, in the back of my shirt tag. And I said, Lord, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. He said, turn it upside down. So I had it on the bed, and I turned it upside down. Now, a lot of people have said, well, you can only read it as 001. And I'm like, no. This is the way the Lord put it in my mind. 100%, the percentage sign still comes after 100. But he told me nylon, read nylon upside down. No lying. And so when you look at nylon and you take the word and you just turn it, if I was to just flip that, it's no line. And then when I said to the Lord, 100% no line, question mark, my body just lit up. Just, I mean, I was buzzing so hard, it felt like just electricity coursing through my whole body. I was like, what is this? What is going on? He was letting me know, you got the answer right. 100% no line. In order to see the 100% truth, I had to turn everything upside down the opposite direction. And he would let me know that's why I'm seeing the truth. Let me show you my Under Armour shirt. It's a fishing shirt. What do you notice about it? It's the right side up, upside down paradigm. And so it is with most clothing lines if you just pay attention. So anyway, so here we go. Let's go back here now. Okay, so y'all know that the Church of Satan is an upside down star. Well, the very first thing the Lord did in that hotel room was to give me the key of knowledge, the key of David. I didn't realize it, but he told me turn it upside down if I wanted to see the 100% truth. And by the way, Jesus is the truth. So if you want to see the truth, you have to turn everything upside down to see his kingdom and what's going on. It's like, oh my God, we're slaves in some weird kingdom. What is going on? So anyway, here we go. Let's do it. So let me show you a big key that's let me enlarge it. This is a big key, and I did not know what this I'd seen it before. I knew it was a key. A lot of people say, oh, that's the key of Solomon. Well, kinda. Not exactly, but kinda. You can apply it. But look, I colored in the Vatican right here. Here's the snake right here. So here's the head of the snake, and there's the tongue coming out of the snake. You know what? I'll go ahead and enlarge it some more so you guys can see definitely. There you go. So there's the serpent right there, and there's the split tongue coming out of his mouth, going to the halls of government. And then here is that keyhole. But now I want you to start looking at this as that's the part you hold in your thumb, because we're going to start looking at this as one big key. And then here is the shaft that goes to the key. And this is the part that goes in the lock. And it's in the shape of a star. Now, I've drawn in that star, and I just made it real easy for you guys to see. But we're going to back out picture by picture by picture. And I'm going to let you see, well, let me show you what it looks like when it's done so you know what it is. And then we're going to start removing stuff from the photo. And you guys can, pick your jaws up. Okay, here we go. So there is the sigil of Baphomet. Now, let's do this. Let's go back and reduce this in size. And then let me just show you, because this is very important that you see it like this. So I'm going to enlarge, I'm going to stretch that out, and I'm going to take this image and I'm just going to go right there. Okay, so there's the Church of Satan, right? So I just took this image of Baphomet and I went doot, 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 and it's right there. There it is. Its sizing's off just a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that. But there it is. So here's Baphomet, and I put it in the tip of the key. So if we were to put this in a lock and turn it upside down, then the door would lock or open. That's how you open locks. And so now I'm going to take this one that is sized a little better. Oh, sorry. We're going to have a little bit of, Sorry, sometimes this program gets a little bit finicky. It'll be right back. There we go. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to drag it. I'll try it again. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to drag it down right there. There it is. Okay, so now I'm just kind of walking the whole thing back. So we have a long key shaft and we have the tip of the key that goes in the lock, and there's a perfect 5-pointed star that fits right inside of it. It's at a little bit of an angle, but let's size it a little better. There, look at that. Bam. Okay, if I could rotate my star, just about a couple degrees to the left, it would be absolutely perfect. But there it is. There's no doubt about what you're looking at because I drew in the pentagram, and there it is. But what's really fascinating is, what is this building? What is that building right there? And let me show you what that building is. And so I've backed it out. We're going to back out the star I drew in now. And we're just going to keep backing out the images I drew in. And we're just going to let you see what the heck. Oh, wow. What is a dead sheep doing in the middle of the keyhole? Oh, the whole building is a dead sheep. I know that's kind of hard to wrap your brain around, but the whole Vatican is a snake. It's like, damn. These guys love their architecture, man. I I really I was like, wait a minute. Are are you sure? So I went at this thing several different directions. Now listen, what is that building? Y'all know what a mausoleum is? I mean, give you the definition of a mausoleum. A mausoleum is an external freestanding building constructed as a monument enclosing internment space. It is the ritual act of placing a dead person, animal, sometimes with objects, into the ground. And so it is an internment space or burial chamber of deceased person or people. A, a monument without the internment is called a cenotaph, but the monument with the internment space is called a mausoleum. Okay, so now that building right there. Now let me shrink it. That is a mausoleum. And let me show you some pictures of it because this is so fascinating and it fits together so perfectly. And yes, it is part of the understanding of the Key of Solomon. And Solomon, man, he got into serious witchcraft. In the grimoires. I don't know how many people know about, Solomon and the grimoires, but Solomon got into it, man, and this will prove it out. Now, I want to show you a couple. These are antique keys. Here is a key that would go into a lock. What do you notice about this blank? These are antique keys and drawings of antique keys. So, what do you notice about this right here? It's a cross. So, if you put that key into a keyhole, if you know what, I can rotate that if you want. Let's rotate it just for kicks and grins. We're going to enjoy our time together. I don't want to feel like I'm in a rush to deliver this. So I'm just going to take my time and enjoy the knockout punch to Satan's kingdom, because this stuff is destroying his kingdom. All he had going for his kingdom, it was in darkness. Why do you think the sunglass company the Lord gave me, vampires, was come out of the darkness into the light? Because I'm turning state's evidence on those I used to be part of. So let's turn this key and let's just do a 90-degree clockwise, and then we'll do another 90-degree clockwise. Okay, there we go. It's getting close. That way you guys can, just see it in a proper orientation, a little more proper. Okay, so look at that cross right there. You see? Look at that right side up cross. So if this thing was perfectly, vertical, I mean horizontal, that would be a right side up cross. What would happen to it if you were to turn it and you put it in and lock the door? What would happen to it? You would have a right side up cross that turned to an upside down cross, just like this. So picture that key like I just showed you going into this keyhole, because the whole basilica, the whole thing is a keyhole. There it is. Let me show you. There it is. So this is a yellow keyhole, but these are all black cobblestones that represent serpent skin. And I showed you, they were given vestures of honor from the skin of the serpent. And by the way, a lot of people like, why would God use the word honor, to it means to fulfill a commitment. I looked it up. It means vestures. It means a covering or a cloak. Vestures, a covering or a cloak of fulfilling a commitment because they did what they weren't supposed to do. So here's your servant skin, vestures of honor. So here we go. So here is a yellow outline keyhole, and all the cobblestones are black cobblestones that are identical to serpent skin. And so if we had that key go in, if we had the key just like the shape of a cross go into that keyhole right there, if we were to go in and then turn upside down, you would have a locked keyhole now. The door would be locked, and that locked door turns into what? Oh, look at that. The locked door turns into the serpent wearing the crown. Oh my gosh. So the serpent wearing the crown is what happens when that cross went in and got turned upside down. See, look, there it is. Amazing. You know what? Let's stretch this out a little bit. I'm going to go like that and then drag this over. Look at that. So the upside down cross turns into the serpent, doesn't it? Well, this is going to get really good in a second. This is going to get even better. That's so crazy. It's like, oh my gosh. What happens? Did you know the number 9 means judgment? The number 6 is, the number of the flesh that we are made out of, carbon 666, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. Well, let's go back and just look at a few more pics real quick. Let me see if I got the serpent skin. There you go. I want to show you St. Peter's Basilica. See, the keyhole is serpent skin. These are the cobblestones. Okay, now let's look at serpent skin. Let's see. Let's drag that right on top of the serpent. So the whole keyhole fits perfectly. It's serpent skin. And that's why when you turn the cross upside down, the whole thing becomes a serpent. Okay, so that is looking at this part. Now let's go back. Let's go back and look at our stuff. Okay, so here is a key that's got a cross, and by the way, if you guys just go look this up yourself, just go look at antique keys, Google Images. You'll be like, there's all kinds of crazy stuff that is esoteric in nature, occultish. They've been using stuff on keys for a long time. I was just like, they have so much esoteric stuff. Now, here's another antique key. What do you see here? I noticed it right away. That is the satanic double cross. It's the double cross, cross of Lorraine, satanic industrial neofolk merc. This represents the satanic cross. Did anybody see the movie V for Vendetta. The guys that carried that badge, that's what they carried. Um, Satanic double cross. Okay, so back here again. So here you have just a cross, and here you have the satanic double cross. Either way you look at it, those keys are very telling, and they tell you a lot. Just look at the key. It's like a no-brainer. Doesn't require intellectual thought. Now let's go take a look at the Castel San Angelo and St. Peter's. Let's see, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to copy this because I want you to see exactly what it is. I'm just going to go here and we have the satanic double cross. We don't need that anymore. We'll go backwards. We'll take over that window and we'll just, there you go. Now check this out. So this is the mausoleum that I'm showing you, the Castel San Angelo. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just copy that and I'm going to show you. There it is. You're looking right at it. What's really fascinating is to go over to it and see it. Everybody walks across a bridge. What's really interesting about the bridge is it's got its own mirror reflection. Let me show you what I'm talking about. It's really amazing. This is just amazing stuff. So to get to it, you walk across this bridge. What do you notice about the bridge? And by the way, we're going to go back and look more at the sheep and all that from above. We're going to compare it to some stuff. And we're going to look at the mausoleum itself, the actual place where they put the dead people. Wait till you see that. This is mind-boggling. So in order to go to the place where they keep all the dead people, the mausoleum, you walk over a bridge. What do you notice about that bridge? Wow, you got this really crazy mirror reflection, don't you? They love to do their stuff right in front of water because water gives you a mirror reflection. Why do you think the Washington Monument has some giant long pool of water in front of it? So you see the mirror reflection. Why do you think even the federal building bombing memorial? Let's do that one. It has a mirror reflection. There you go. See, they love their mirror reflections, don't they? There it is. See, look. Oh, look, remembering the Oklahoma City bombing. Oh, isn't that fascinating? With a doorway through it. Uh-huh. Yeah. So these guys are very obvious once you know what they're doing, aren't they? It's pretty amazing, isn't it? Now I'm just going to hit the back button. There we go. Then I'm going to go back over here. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So there's your mirror reflection going to the mausoleum. Well, let's go back and look at some pictures now. So, and then I'm going to show you, well, what's really fascinating is, now again, I showed you this. Let's see, let's go to now, what happens when you turn the sheep upside down? It turns to a goat. The virgin right side up is a goat. It's a goat. So one way it's a goat. Hey, Tom, is there anything in the Bible that talks about sheep and goats? Oh, yeah, man. Go to Ezekiel 34:17. That was in 2003. I'm like, okay, so you got a goat. If I turn the goat upside down and just draw in these lines, I got a dead sheep. So one way it's a goat, one way it's a dead sheep. Oh my gosh. That blows my mind because I remember this guy named Marcel. He came up and handed me a picture of myself that he had drawn on a piece of wood, and I wasn't saved when he gave it to me in 2001, and I didn't know it was the devil making fun of me. And there is that piece of wood, and there's the original drawing. I have it on the wall here in my house. And there is the picture of Johnny, and there is the dead sheep on top of my head. You know, let me hit full, get rid of that header. So there, look, see the little knot in the wood? There's a discoloration in the wood right there. Then he took his pencil, he made a little eye right there. Then he pretended this was my hair, and he made a little lump right there for the top of the sheep's head. Then he took his pencil and he went back this way to make the ear for the sheep. And then he went down to make the nose. Then he made that little black circle right there for the nose. Then he took his pencil, came this way to make the snoot. Then he made this line right here to give it a mouth, tongue sticking out, bottom of the snoot. Put this little line up to identify the snoot of the sheep coming down under the neck. And then he's like, okay, now I'll start hiding it all. And I'll give him like hair, hair. Oh, and then on the back of Johnny's head, I'm going to put a sleeping goat. There's the goat's eye. There's the goat's eye. You see this line right here? That line's this horizontal line makes no sense. Look at that. Ear. Look at the horn. Look at the horn. So he put a goat on the back of my head, and there's the closed eye, and there's the nose of the goat. He put a triangle on it to represent who that goat represents. That's who it represents. The all-seeing eye is who that goat represents. He put that triangle on the nose. By the way, and anyone that's had any chemistry or stuff, physics, higher math, you know that the delta symbol means change in. So if I have an equation that says delta, it's a little triangle and a T, delta T means change in temperature. Delta species. Right there on the nose of the goat is a delta symbol. And then if you follow my ear around, look at my ear, look at my sideburn. What a convenient place for that line right there to give a hoof to Mr. Goat. Now when I zoom out, there's your goat, there's its hoof, and there's the sheep. And look, one's facing one way and one's facing another way. Now, something that was done in 2001, I'm like, it totally makes sense. So you know what you do with the sheep? You turn it into a goat if you're Satan. That's what you do. Do you know how you do it? I do. You turn it upside down. That's how you do it. Watch this. This is going to get good. Okay, so now let's do it again. Watch. Let's go back to the key. Boom. So here we go. Okay, so now we have this pentagram like that, right? Well, that's right side up, but we're looking at a sheep underneath it, aren't we? There's actually a sheep right there, but that pentagram is right side up. So let's back out and let's look at, without the red coloring on it so we can see through the pentagram. And there we go. Oh, wow. And so here's a key, the serpent's key. See, there's the serpent. And here's the part you would hold in your thumb and your index finger. And here's the shaft of the key. Here's the part that goes in the lock. And when you turn this dead sheep upside down, what happens to this star right here? Well, the star turns upside down. And because the star is right side up right now, when you turn it upside down, it becomes the Church of Satan. So let's do it. Let's just turn it upside down. So there it is. So there's a sheep. Let's look at the sheep first. Let's get a clean look at that dead sheep. That's not hard to see. There's his closed eye, nose, tongue sticking out. And there's his ear. I was just like, that's crazy. These guys actually built this thing to be a dead sheep inside of a pentagram. And the whole damn thing is a mausoleum. Y'all haven't even seen what's on the mausoleum yet. I was like, so when you put the key in to the mausoleum that's got all the dead sheep in it, what happens? Well, let's turn that upside down. So we're going to go back. Sorry, when I reach over, that's me doing I have a stretchable screen, really cool feature. So let's do it. So let's take this one right here, and let's just turn it upside down. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to go back and I'm going to turn it upside down, and then we're going to stretch it out. So here we go. We'll rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, 90 degrees clockwise, somewhere in there. It's there somewhere. There it is. Okay. I don't think they lined up right, but 90 degrees clockwise again. Uh-oh, here we go. Uh-oh, where'd it go? There it is. Wait. Okay, there we go. So let's take a look at this. There we go. What happens to the dead sheep when you turn the key upside down? It turns into the Church of Satan. So, the night I got saved, when the Lord told me, Johnny, he didn't say Johnny, he just said, turn it upside down. 100% nylon, that doesn't make any sense. Turn it upside down. 100% no lying. No lying. You want the 100% truth? It's the same as this image of life and death. This is the way you do it. The gift of God is eternal life. Turn this exact image upside down. The wages of sin is death. There it is. And this is the whole thing. This is the understanding of everything right here. That's it. And that is the world in which we live, that we are a slave to. Just like my Under Armour shirt. There you go. There you go. Right side up, upside down hooks. Because they fish for us all day long. That's what they do. That's why, by the way, Democrat is demon. Go look up the Latin origins. Demon, and then Kratos is a fishing basket. Why do you think they have why do you think they have this like this? I was like, that's a good one. I'll use that as a teachable moment. Very teachable to have, a lot of people like, why do you wear that stuff? Because when people, when I'm talking to people, if I meet someone in public and they start, they want to go off on, oh, it's not this. I'm like, well, look at my shirt. Look at your shirt. Look at this. Look at your watch. I can use 80% of what they're wearing or what I'm wearing as a teachable, experience. So it's easy. So anyway, so now why do you think Jesus told Peter now in Matthew 16, Peter, I will give to you the key to the kingdom of heaven? Because Jesus knew Peter would be crucified upside down. Jesus was crucified right side up, and Peter was crucified upside down. Therein lies the entire understanding of all of it. Now look, I'm going to take this and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to enlarge this and I'm going to grab this thing and I'm just going to shove it in here, and this is it. That's how you lock and unlock the lock. That's how it locks and unlocks. And you know what? When it locks, and it's upside down, it turns into the serpent. These guys are so busted, right? It's like, guys, y'all are busted. I got bad news for you. Your little kingdom, oh no. Sorry, I lost one of my windows. Let me go back here and put this back right there. We're going back to the hieroglyph folder. If you want to know where this stuff is, guys, it's in the hieroglyph folder. And this is how you navigate to get to the hieroglyph folder. You go to the alien/hieroglyph. I clicked on alien, and then I'm going to click on hieroglyph. Boom. And then hieroglyph will open up. And isn't that fascinating? Because speaking of a hieroglyph, y'all remember that the largest altar in the world is a dead sheep, right? Been over that like 1,000 times. When you turn it upside down, the dead sheep is a vagina. So what did they use to kill all the sheep? A vagina. That's what they used. That was the mechanism. Hey, all you angels, y'all want to have sex? It's cool. You can have it. You're not going to die. You'll be fine. You'll become like gods. And when you die and you don't get converted, Satan and all his minions are going to get your energy and they're going to form another race to try and make war against the Most High. Why do you think they're trying to open CERN? Yeah. I could do a whole hour on the CERN thing, guys. It's blowing my mind. Cernunnos, the god Cernunnos, happens to be a W. Because they want to open that pit, and everyone that's got their evil doppelganger, man, that when that pit opens, guys, all that evilness will be set loose within this dimension. And they're trapped, but they're going to be unleashed. That's why the Jaguar, think about it. Anyone that's seen all the commercials I've done for you guys, think about this for a sec. Think about this. The Jaguar commercial. We've already created a beast. Now it's time for a whole new animal with the same potent DNA, more ruthlessly efficient. Jaguar. Little deviants. Little deviants, they come from underground, unleashing demon brothers to take those sheeple down. So they're coming from underground, unleashing demon brothers to take those sheeple down. The sheeple are compliant and make for fine ingredients for customizing anything. Here come the little deviants. Because that's CERN, guys. I mean, that's a Scion commercial straight up. They're coming from underground. They're going to destroy the sheeple. I mean, and his own reflection is what kills the sheep in the commercial. What about the Maserati commercial? Some little 10-year-old mulatto chick, does she drive a Maserati? There's giants. They've always been here, walking in this, lumbering through the schoolyards, walking through the schoolyards, lumbering through the alleys. I mean, what? What the hell is she selling? And then she says, we slowly walk out of the darkness. Guy lifts his mask. And then it shows a girl coming out from behind a veil like a ballerina, walk out of the shadows and strike. What the hell? Is that a car commercial? No. Every single commercial I do, avocados from Mexico. Do they know the secret? 23 and 23. It's all about chromosomes. All the commercials. Kenzo. Versace. All of them. Every commercial I've done, it's the same thing. It's this. All of it. It's all the same. So, wow. So here's a hieroglyph that's 1,300 BC. There's a penis going in a vagina. And then we're going to zoom out. There's the penis. There's the penis zoomed out. And there's the blonde girl on her knees. There's the penetration. When the sons of God saw the beautiful women of the human race, they took any they wanted as their wives. When the sons of God had intercourse with human women, yep. Wow, this is starting to look vaguely, completely, and utterly busted. The head of the kid that the Pharaoh is holding right here. Look at this kid that Akhenaten is holding. Look at this big black space. That's a reptile egg. There's a dead sheep in it. So now we just put the puzzle together. There's a sheep. This is the kid's head. Look, let me show you. Just so you know. See, there's the kid's head is a sheep. That's a sheep with its tongue sticking out. Just goes, take the sheep, we'll just crop it, put it inside the egg. Take the reptile, put it inside the egg. The combination is a dead sheep and a reptile busted. Let's do a really clear image of it now. Let's do a really clean, revamped image of that. And we'll get back to that key thing. Watch this. So here's the sheep. I've recolored it. I recolored it white. The Lord told me redo it. Didn't want to do it, but I did it. So here's the egg. Here's the egg. There's an egg. Let's put a sheep in the egg. I'll size it. There you go. There's the sheep goes in the egg. Put the reptile in the egg. The combination of the sheep. There's the sheep. Let me size it. There's a sheep in the egg. It's all in the kid's head. There's a dead sheep, and there's a reptile. And you have a sheep and a reptile inside the head of a kid that's 1,300 years old, which is identical to a hieroglyph, which is identical to a presidential photo of Barack Obama. I mean, that's like one in a, it's not even possible. There's no odds that are possible anymore. Now, let's get to the mausoleum. It's just so crazy. Okay, so let's get to the mausoleum. Let's look at one picture of Barack. Let's look at one picture of Barack, though. I got to see it. Look at this. So here's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I just got to do it one time, guys. Let's just do it. I just got to do it. Tyrannosaurus Rex. There it is. So Barack has a Tyrannosaurus Rex on one side of his head and a dead sheep on the other. But he's no longer in an egg, is he? Because the egg's hatched. There it is. Boom. Busted. There it is. Look at the Scorpion album. Because remember, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but I'm just going to move down these pictures because they're so good. These images are pure gold. Platinum. This is better than anything. Wisdom and knowledge from God is more valuable and more precious than anything. Just read your Bible. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Look, the Scorpions. The band The Scorpions, Klaus Meine and the Scorpions, those super cool guys from Germany. Right. Well, check it out. They have an album that's called Moment of Glory. Why would you have an album called Moment of Glory with a Tyrannosaurus Rex wearing jewels? What the hell? Because it's true. It's true. Oh my gosh, it's true. The Scorpions, look, Moment of Glory. Well, let's match that up to something. Let's match up their moment of glory to the coming of the Antichrist, who's got the same exact image on his presidential portrait. Ay, 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 ay. There it is. That's so crazy. So Barack Obama has a Tyrannosaurus Rex right on one side of his head in the bushes, and the cumulative sum of his presidential portrait is a serpent with its mouth open, with its fangs showing, and one of the fangs is a sperm. That's so crazy. All right, I'm sorry, man. I'm having fun with this, guys. This is just like, you gotta love it. It's like there's nothing to be afraid of. All their spooky stuff. They got bad news for them. Bad news. The Lord's coming. So now, let's do this again. Let's do this and let's get to the mausoleum, okay? And then let's look at a couple scriptures. So we have established, no doubt about it, that the Vatican, St. Peter's home of the serpent basilica, royal abode of the basilisk. There it is. There's St. Peter's royal abode of the basilisk, which is a legendary serpent that kills with its breath or with its look. So there's a serpent wearing a crown. There's its tongue sticking out. Here's the keyhole. The cross went in, got turned upside down, turned into a serpent. Here's the shaft of the key. And when you turn this poor dead little sheep upside down, it becomes the church of Satan. Wow. So the whole world is the church of Satan, really. There it is. Let's look at it upside down and backwards like nylon. 100% nylon. Bam, here we go. Looks like I was telling the truth on my personal testimony, all you false prophet, phony, fake, false prophet hunters. If I was y'all, I'd be freaking out, man. I'd be totally freaking out. Drew, Bloom, brother Daryl. Yeah, I'd be freaking out if I was you guys. I'd be totally freaking out. There you go. So there's your key. We turn the poor little sheep that's got its tongue out upside down, and a sheep turns to a goat. Now, I want to do this because I want to get a goat in there. Watch this. Okay, I'm going to change this old-fashioned keys to sigil of Baphomet. There we go. Sigil of Baphomet. So let's see. We got this. There we go. Let's see. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go right next to it. And I'm going to take the Church of Satan right out of here. You're looking right at it. The sigil of Baphomet. You're looking right at it. Look, there it is. The serpent eating its own tail. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to shove this image into that folder. What did the dead sheep just become? It became the Church of Satan. Busted beyond any arguable doubt. Look at it. Dun, 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 dun. There it is. So nobody can argue. Nobody can argue that the Catholic Church is not the church of the devil himself. Yep. That's pretty serious stuff. That's not good. That's bad. So you want to see the mausoleum? I do. Let's look at the mausoleum. Let's go to the sheep folder. Okay, so we'll take the sigil and we'll put it over here at the end. We don't need Ezekiel, but I'll leave it just, let's go through the Bible real quick. I want to show y'all something. And this is very important. Verily I say unto you, no. Okay, I highlighted all that. Okay, we're going to do it anyway. Okay, he that entereth into the door, entereth by the door, is the shepherd of the sheep. Okay, I'm going to do this on everyone. Sheep. To him the porter is open, and the sheep hear his voice. I'm just going to show you how many times we see sheep. Okay, and his sheep follow him. So I'm just showing you the word sheep because I want you to see it. Why do you think they're always doing all these dead sheep? Because they hate God's sheep. Okay. They will flee from a stranger. They didn't understand what he said. Verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. So I'm just going to keep doing all the sheep in John 10. Sheep, 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 sheep. But the sheep did not hear them. Sheep. I am the door, and if any man enter in, he shall be saved. The thief has come to kill and steal and destroy, but I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. So what is the word we are constantly called by Jesus himself? But the hireling and not the shepherd, whose own sheep are not. When he sees a wolf coming, he leaveth the sheep. 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 I'm just going to I want y'all to see all the sheep. He can't. The hireling careth not for the sheep. Those are like these fake pastors, like guys like Brother Daryl that call themselves Brother Daryl and Drew Bloom and Know My Sheep. They don't have any testimonies. All they do is tell people other people are false prophets. Go look at their channels. And I lay down my life for the sheep. There you go. Okay, but what you're seeing here is, and I have other sheep. Okay, what you're seeing on this channel is you're actually seeing empirical data that is perfect because it was delivered by the Lord God Himself. Now, just kind of in my spirit, there's part of me that wants to go, Drew Bloom and Daryl, I tried to reason with you guys long time ago, but y'all have persisted. So we will be judged according to our words. Now, I pray for mercy for both y'all, but I'm afraid for both y'all that may be too late because the Bible says every sin shall be forgiven except for blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. And that means you're attributing my gift to Satan. If you're calling me a false prophet, that means you think I work for the devil, when actually all I'm doing is exposing the devil. So you better hope I'm a false prophet. Otherwise, you're in deep, 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 deep trouble. And I hate to tell you, you can tell every tree by its fruit. Y'all do videos hunting down false prophets. I do videos making manifest that which is hidden in darkness. I'll let everybody figure it out for themselves. Okay? But I'm pretty tired of, I get emails from people just telling me about what y'all are doing. And it's like, it's repugnant. It's like if you can't preach, if you can't help people, if you haven't gone and laid hands on the sick and healed the sick and raised the dead, and you haven't done those things, but you make false prophet videos, that says a lot about you, doesn't it? So anyway, consider yourself admonished. Anyway, so here we go again with the sheep and goat thing. There's a dead sheep facing one way. There's a goat facing the other way. Wow, now I know why. Now I know why the image of the Virgin right side up is a goat. And when you turn the goat upside down, which is the Church of Satan, it's a dead sheep. Because even the architecture, let's see, we're looking at that. Even the architecture itself, look at it, is a giant key. And when you turn the poor sheep that's in a mausoleum upside down, it's a dead sheep. Let's go look at the mausoleum now. And you know what? This is amazing. Yeah, I mean, this is really amazing. When I realized the significance, think of all the people walking over that bridge. They're walking over a bridge, kind of like we had to cross over into this dimension, guys. So we had to get into this dimension. We had to go through a bridge, through a portal, tunnel, bridge, whatever you want to call it. We had to come out of our mom's matrix. Did y'all know that the word womb is matrix in the Bible? Did you know that? Yep. Go look it up. Go look it up. Anyway, so we had to get here somehow. So when I look at this mausoleum and I see all these people walking over a bridge to get there, and the whole thing is a dead sheep, that speaks volumes, especially because when you look at it, look at this image. I mean, look at the image of what everybody's walking over. That's crazy. So everybody's walking over this to the place where they keep the dead sheep. That's just crazy. Now watch this. This is so amazing. While I was doing putting this folder together, I was just like, and I was on Google Images and I was getting images, and it would bring up like different images of different parts of this building. And Dave the Wave sent me this part that's actually got a sheep with serpents right above the door of the mausoleum where you go in where the dead people are. But I mean, you don't get to go and view the dead people, I don't think. But it's above the door to the mausoleum part. But watch this. Watch this one. Check this out. Okay. Look at this. Castel San Angelo and St. Peter's. I'm going to enlarge this. Let's see. It said the poison apple. You know what? I'll have to enlarge it. I'll have to grab from the other side. I have it in one of these pictures. It says the poison apple. I was like, what? The poison apple? Why would it be called the poison apple? Oh, kind of like the fruit from the garden. I was like, that is absolutely crazy. So here, let me get to this. Hang on one second. Let me get back to my main row. See where I'm at. Okay, here we go. Here's all the people going over the bridge. There they are, look. Isn't that fascinating? They're crossing over the bridge, and you saw the mirror reflection. And who would ever think that this whole thing from above is a dead sheep? And then I went and looked at the architecture. I'm like, why did this this white part? Why is it tapered like it is? Why isn't it just straight? Why is it tapered? Why is there grass like this? Why did they do it? Why did they put trees here? Why is, the part? Because when you look at it from above and you look at it just like you would these things called the Nazca lines. Here we go. Let's see. We'll do Google Images. Nazca. There it is. Nazca lines with a Z. Just like the Nazca lines, the petroglyphs, you can see them from above. But in order to see their little agenda and all the stuff, you got to look from above if you want to see what's really going on. So when you look from above, you can go, oh, wow, there's something very odd going on here. And you can see there's a whole world that's been hidden from your sight. All you had to do was look from above. That's the way the Lord showed me the Vatican. I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So let's go back and look at that for just a moment again. So let's look at this again. Let's look at this one right here. Wow, that's a pretty good sheet. And wow, there's no arguing that that's a serpent wearing a crown because I came in at a 45-degree angle and the Lord let me prove it. The sidewalk proves it. So that's the serpent. That's a keyhole. It's also represents a pregnant serpent. And it's also the key, yes, key of Solomon. Turn it upside down. And there you go. When you turn the dead sheep upside down, it becomes the church of Satan. Wow. Staggering. Absolutely staggering. There we go. There it is. And I would like to take another red sigil of Baphomet and just put it in there. And there it is. There's the Church of Satan. Bam. That's just unbelievable. I'd like to get one that's even better. Just amazing. Let's take this one. Let's take this one. There it is. I mean, that is not arguable. That is not arguable. That is not arguable. Bam. Now I'm going to size it. There we go. Now I'll take the sigil of Baphomet. There we go. We'll go back up in there. That is not arguable. Ha! And they kill sheep. And how do they kill sheep? They turn them upside down. That's how they kill sheep. Let's go to the scripture that proves that, which was one of the first scriptures the Lord showed me, Isaiah 29, 15, and 16. Y'all should really read this whole verse, but therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work and a wonder among this people. By the way, you're looking at that marvelous work and that wonder. You're looking at it. All this revelation of all this information is this marvelous work and this wonder. It is the unrolled scroll. And the Lord did it. Even a marvelous work and a wonder, for the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. Then it says, woe unto them that go to great depths or seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us? And who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he had no understanding? He made me not? Or shall the thing that was framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? It is yet a very little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into a fruitful field. Is it not yet a very little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into a fruitful field, and the fruitful field shall be esteemed as a forest? Question mark. And in that day, the deaf shall hear the words of the scroll. That's scroll when you look it up. And the eyes of the blind, like Johnny's Vampire Sunglass Company, shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. Come out of the darkness and the light with loud eyewear. Vampire sunglasses. Come out of the darkness into the light. Because you're all a bunch of vampires. Everyone's a vampire. You're a vampire or a victim. Depends on who's around. Bono got it right. So anyway, now let's go look at the mausoleum that's that's actually in that giant building that's all one big mausoleum. So let's go look at a couple more pictures, but let me show you a little thing on sheep and goats. Sheep go to the right, goats go to the left. There's two types of learners, those that do what they're told and those that do what they want. Sheep and goats. Now, let's go here. Oh my gosh, you know what? I don't want to get off on a tangent, but I have to show you this. I have to show you this. I saw this a while back and I was like, oh my God. This is a drug that treats tumors, they say, but doesn't that look like a sperm heading towards an egg? It's called Keytruda, and I noticed it was from a company and it was called Lambrolizumab. Look, Lambro, like lamb and lizard. Are you kidding me? Lambrizumab. So I went and looked it up. I was like, oh my God, Lambro. That's identical to the hieroglyph of Akhenaten, a lamb and a lizard. I'm like, wait a minute. So it's called Keytruda, but you know what? They even changed their name because it was so obvious. Lambolizumab? I was like, what are you joking? And they changed their name to Pembrolizumab, but I went and got my proof like I always do. And it says, learn more about Lambrolizumab, a worldwide survey, yearly survey of new data in adverse drug reactions. Lambrolizumab, anti-PD-1, MK33475. Lambrolizumab is a humanized monoclonal. Wow. Humanized monoclonal, like clone, IgG4 kappa isotope antibody targeted to the programmed cell death. I wonder if they could use that to knock out the lamb within the system and make sure it's just lizard. Wow. Lambo Lizumab. I'm not joking. You can't think this stuff up. Watch this. Let's just do this just for fun. Let's take, we already got this one up. Let's just take this and go. Keytruda. Let's see. Okay. Keytruda logo. There you go. There it is. And that, isn't that fascinating? Look at that. It's half one color. It's half blue and half black. I mean, you know, and look, they changed the name. See, look at this. They changed it to pembrolizumab. It was Lambolizumab. I'll prove it. Okay, watch this. Let's see. I'll open a new one. I just want everyone to know I'm telling you the truth. Lambro Lizumab. There it is. Look at that. Lambro-lizumab. And see, they changed it right here. See, they changed it to pembrolizumab. But see, here it is. You can still find it in overview. There it is. Lambro-lizumab. I'm not, this is no joke. There it is. I mean, what are you joking? And they got like a missile, like it's heading towards a female egg? That's crazy. Lambo-lizumab. We're not in Kansas anymore, folks. We are just not, I mean, just to name something, Lamb, bro, Lizu, Mab, and kappa isotope antibody targeted to the programmed cell death, PD-1 receptor expressed by T cells. That's just crazy. I mean, you know, just the whole concept that you would name it that. Anyway, there it is. And it's half one color, half another. And it's a key. Isn't that fascinating? And it's in the shape of a crucifixion. Isn't that interesting? Weird. I'm telling you, man, you can't even think this stuff up. So let's go to the mausoleum now. I'm sorry, man. It's just like, ah. Okay, here we go. Mausoleum. Let's do it. Dun, 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 dead sheep. Dun, 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 dun. Here it is. Here's the mausoleum where they keep the people. There it is without me coloring it in, but so obvious. This is the head of a sheep. This is the ear going out. They did the dark. That's inside the ears. This is the fur on top. It goes actually right here. This represents the eye coming down to the nose. And then there's two serpents coming off of it. And unfortunately, you can't get a high res on this thing because even though I tried, I took the tour, I went through it, but you can see very easily, there's your sheep. All you have to do is take the sheep's nose and push it down a little and orientate his face down a little, and there it is. There's your dead sheep. What's really fascinating is it has these serpents coming off the side. And I walked back the, you know, the ribbons. It's DNA. You can tell it's DNA. They all, it's the same as the hieroglyph of Akhenaten and Nefertiti. And if you follow these things, they just wrap around this whole thing, and they go up here, and then it's like a bow tied here and here. Isn't that funny? Just like the way we tie our bows on our shoes, tied together. Reminds me of Ashley Judd and the other girl that did the thing at the Grammys, you know, where she said about one voice saying, "Time's up." Time's up, folks. Anyway, I've gotten so many confirmations in the last 48 hours. I could do a 4-hour radio show on all the confirmations and giving you all the data. It's been nonstop. I'm coming right away. It's going to happen. Be ready. Anyway, there you go. That's what's on top of the mausoleum right there. That's a sheep, And that's serpent DNA wrapped around the whole thing. There it is, right there. Boop, boop. There it is, right above it. Mausoleum. There it is. And the whole darn thing. Isn't that fascinating? That's the first picture I drew in. I was like, what's with the goat? What's with the sheep? Why do you got a sheep one way and a goat the other? What's going on here? You know, then let's just go, let's just backwalk the sheep. Look at this, an Intuit sketch pad for your computer. It's a sheep being covered by a tidal wave. Wow, largest altar in the world is a penis shooting its seed into a vagina. Anyone ever seen Santa Claus? Let me show you know what, let me show you a couple sheep. Here's a woman winking her eye. See this woman winking her eye? It's a dead sheep. That's the eye of the sheep, eye of the sheep. This is the nose of the sheep. Here's the ear of the sheep. So let me just kind of crop it for you. See, she's winking her eye. So let's take the sheep and just do it. There you go. That's the head of a sheep. There's a closed eye. Those that wink the eye devise perverse things. They bring evil to pass. So there's a dead sheep on her head. You just had to turn it upside down. And look, Santa Claus, I believe that's the eye of the sheep right there. There's the ear of the sheep. There's the nose of the sheep. There you go. Watch. Let's size it a little bit. So why is Santa Claus a sheep? There you go. There it is. See, look, watch. There, I just put the sheep's eye right where it's supposed to go. There it is. So, yeah, I believe. That's wonderful. Uh-huh. There's Johnny with a dead sheep and a serpent eating me. There's St. Stephen's, the largest altar in the world that's a dragon and a sheep. Wow. And on and on and on it goes. Lots of dead sheep. Affliction t-shirt, the whole thing's a dead sheep. Eye, nose, tongue sticking out. Largest altar in the world is the female reproductive system. And you turn it when it's turned upside down. And when you turn it right side up, it's a dead sheep. And there's Keith Richards sitting on top of a dead sheep. But when you rotate it a little bit, the dead sheep becomes this gnarly gargoyle thing right there. Like a vampire. It's like the devil, no doubt about it. Vampiric devil thing. And then the largest altar in the world again is obviously a dead sheep. I mean, just and on and on and on it goes. And there's the dead sheep on top of me. And the goat facing the opposite direction. I mean, this is no longer even arguable. There is a serpent eating a sheep. There it is. That was on a card my wife gave me before she left. I mean, and on and on and on it goes. All right, guys. Oh, here you go. Just for the record, I took this picture yesterday. Professional estate sales. What do you notice about the key? What do you notice about the key? Oh, it's a cross. All you'd have to do is just block the top off right there, and it's a cross. Professional estate sales. I mean, this stuff's everywhere. We are not in Kansas anymore. We are in a dimension that is called the flesh, and this has been proven 7 ways from Sunday now that the Catholic Church serves the lizards, serves the reptiles. It is the reptiles' home, and the Pope is the head of the reptiles. He's the false prophet, and Barack Obama is the Antichrist. And all y'all have to do if you want is just go look at all these folders and match them up. The work's been done for you. Anyway, wow. Wow. All right. Anyway, sorry guys, kind of got off on kind of a fun roll. There's so much, guys, I could sit here and go for like 3 hours just going over every data point. I could go over all the different sheep, all the different images when you turn them upside down, what they all become, how they all turn into something. It's a no-brainer. By the way, I've had the most supernatural last 48 hours. I mean, just the confirmations that Jesus is coming, the confirmations that I've had between myself, Kat, Billy, and in ways that are so unbelievable. I mean, I really would like to share them with you just to blow your minds. Let me see if I can even maybe put together all the stuff that happened and maybe even bring a few guests in. I might do that just to show you guys Jesus is coming. He's been ringing the bell, man, saying, I'm coming, get ready, I'm coming, get ready. So anyway, I hope you guys are ready. The King's coming. I got all my hope in only one place. I don't have any hope in gold or silver. I don't have any hope in people that are preppers. You'll probably get to use what you prepped. It's one thing to leave stuff for others that you think might need it, but if you're prepping for yourself, then you're probably going to get to use it because that means you still got 1 foot in. Anyway, but you know, you've been given the key of David. That's what the Lord gave to me the night I got saved. He opened the door, told me to go out the door, and no one's been able to shut that door because the Lord opened it. Anyway, guys, Jesus is coming. Praise God. Be encouraged.